Now we will make use of Bootstrap's different utilities to improve our design. Here we see our current layout, and here we see what our finished page should look like. We can see that there's quite a few changes that need to be made. We'll take one section at a time. So we will go into our code editor and scroll down to the Jumbotron component. If we go to the browser again, we see that we want to make the text white and center the content as well. So to do that, we'll add the class text white and then turn this into flexbox with dflex and justify the content center and align the items center. This will align the items both horizontally and vertically. For the container, we also need to add the class text center to center all the content horizontally. And we'll add the class text primary to make this heading blue and the text uppercase to turn the heading each letter into uppercase. If we look at our finished page again, we see that for small devices, our subheading capture every moment disappears. To make this disappear initially, we use the class dnone, and then to make it appear on smaller devices and up, we use the class dsmblock. So the changes we've made again is that we've made all the text white and we've center aligned the content block horizontally and vertically. Then we've centered all the text elements in the content block, that is in the container. And then we changed the text of the heading to the primary color, which is blue, and turned it into uppercase. And the last adjustment was to remove the display for heading, capture every moment, on extra small devices. Let's see this in the browser. We still need to add the background image, but we'll do that in a later lecture. Now let's continue to the description. We see that we just need to center all the content. So we just need to center the heading. So in the code editor, we add the text or the class text center to the heading tag. When we refresh the browser, we'll see that it becomes centered. Then we have our trailer section. We can see that we need to center the heading and the paragraph just below it. So in our code editor, we add the class text center to the heading, and we also add a class text center to our paragraph below it. We refresh the browser and we see the changes happening immediately. Next, we have our showcase section. Again, we need to have the heading centered and the paragraph centered. So in our code editor, we add the class text center to the heading and the same class text center to the paragraph just below it. Alright, the next section will be the features section. We go back to the browser, or first we refresh, we save, and we refresh, and now we see that we have this center aligned. Now we go to the features section. In the finished project, we can see that it looks a little bit nicer, so we need to make some changes. First of all, we need to center the heading with the class text center. Then we want to make use of the flexbox utilities to align the items center and turn each column into a flex column as well. So we'll just make sure to select all the column tags and then add the classes dflex, flex column, align items center. We'll also need to make use of some margin bottom, so we'll add the class MB5, which will give us free rem margin bottom. Let's see what it looks like now. It looks better, but we're not yet there. We need to make some changes to the H3 heading elements. So I'll just select these like this. We want them to appear as an H4 heading element, so they won't be as large as they are right now. We'll also add some margin to the bottom. We'll use the class MB4, and then we'll center the heading with the text center class. Let's have a look. Now we see that it looks better. If we add some more text to one of these columns, we can see that the other buttons still stay in the top. However, in our finished page, we can see that this behavior is different. The buttons all align to the bottom. So to achieve this in the code editor, for the buttons, we'll add the class margin top auto, MT auto. Now we'll refresh the page, add some more text, and see that it works now. Great. Now we'll continue to our pricing section. So we can see that we need to set some colors and some alignment as well. First, we center our heading with the class text center. Then for our first card, we add the class card outline success, which is a contextual color class that gives the card an outline color, not a background color. And it will have the color of success, which is green as a default. Then for the card header, we'll add the background color class BG success, and also the text color text white, and center it with the class text center. So we'll copy this and paste it into the second card as well, but we'll change the success to warning, and for the card wrapper we'll also add the card outline warning class. We'll do the same with the last card here. We'll change it into a danger, background danger, and also add the class card outline danger here. Great. Let's see how it looks now. We see that we have some colors on there, but we still need to fix some spacing and alignment. So we scroll up to our first card again, and now we want all the 4 columns to have some margin button. The reason we want to have this is that when they stack, we want some space, as we can see here on our small screens. So to achieve this, we add the class MB4 to give it some margin bottom. In the browser, we can see that we now have some margin bottom. Alright, let's go back to a wider screen. We still need to do something about the buttons to center align them. To center align the buttons, we go into the card footer element and we add the class text center. Then all the content of this div tag will be centered. Let's see what this looks like. Now we have our centered button. Now it actually looks as we want it to. Let's continue to the review section. We can see that we need to do just a little bit. So first of all, we'll center our heading with the class text center. Then we also need to add some padding to our block quote. I'll just select all 4 like this and add the class P3, which will provide some padding on all 4 sides. Let's see what this looks like. Now we see that it looks as it's supposed to. We'll add the icons in another lecture. The next section is our newsletter section. We see that we need to change some text alignment and background color. So in our code, on the section tag, we'll add the class BG secondary to create the secondary background color, and to add some padding on the form tag, we'll add the class PY5, which creates vertical padding. We'll also add the class text white to turn all the text white so we can see it on the secondary background. And our heading will get the class text center to center align it. Let's see it now. Yes, it looks almost like what we wanted to. We need to fix the button in the bottom. So to do this, we scroll down, and then we need to add some classes to this div tag. We need to turn it into flexbox mode, and then we'll justify the content between this class. We'll make it look like this just as we wanted. Now we'll go to the final section, which is our footer. We see that it have a very light background color. To achieve this, we'll add the class bg light to the footer tag. And on the container tag, we'll put some padding. Initially, we'll have a py3, which is a vertical padding, but we'll put on a bigger padding for small devices and up, which is pysm5 class. To see the effect of this, we'll go back into our code editor, or I mean the browser, refresh. Now we can see that we have initially we have a padding of 1 rem vertically and then 3 rems for small sizes and up. We still need to make a little adjustment to the language selector, which has less spacing and a smaller font size as well. The small font size is already there, but we need to add some padding for the horizontal of 1. We refresh it and we see that our padding is now only 0.25 rem horizontally. So now we've made all the changes that we wanted using Bootstrap's different utility classes.